Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Running the Bases. I am your host, Michael Garaffa, joined today by Nick Nath, but he'll be joining in a little bit. I know he's going to apologize a million times when he gets here, and that's okay. But he forgot the show started at 7. He thought it was at 8, but that's okay. We haven't done a show in 3 weeks. We have been, between 2 weeks ago, I was sick. My allergies were murdering me. And no one else could be here for the show, except for Spencer. And then last week, all 4 of us couldn't make it out. So there's that. It's been a highly interesting 3 weeks, to say the least, in Major League Baseball. Since have and it's well, there's a lot to talk about. And now that I'm here by myself for about 15 more minutes, I might as well dive into what's going on. This is a severe throwback for me to be doing a show by myself. I don't know what's going on. This is weird. Instead of having banter, I have to just provide information, and it's just so different. It feels weird. But nonetheless, I am talking about, I don't need to say we, I'm so used to saying we. I am talking about today, for the first 15 minutes or so of the show before Nick gets here, is the lockout. And that has been the main point of discussion in Major League Baseball. Also, I apologize for my internet connection. It says that it's got poor internet, but it's, I don't know, nothing I can do about it. But it's been an interesting few weeks. The lockout has gone past the deadline that MLB set. They have canceled games, the first 2 series to be exact. And it's too bad Nick's not here, because there's a lot to really discuss. But we all know me and my ability to just talk for hours, so I'm going to take advantage of this time. They didn't come to a deal. The 2 sides didn't come to an agreement in time, and that is because both sides couldn't quite make enough concessions. Don't kill me. I'm just saying both sides couldn't make enough concessions in order to come to an agreement. It looked very positive on Monday night. The 20 was at midnight. And it seemed like there might have a deal going on. Bob Nightingale of USA Today was reporting very heavily. He had a lot of great stuff going on that night. And it was kind of fun because it seemed like Bob had finally been redeemed. But it was just it wasn't what they had made it seem to be. Bob Nightingale reported it almost like we were going to be having a deal. But we also heard then later that the owners were pushing this narrative to the reporters that the players weren't giving, that things were going well, so that this way they could spin it on the players being at fault the next day when a deal didn't happen. So I think they knew all along the deal wasn't going to happen. I think they knew they weren't going to come to an agreement by that time. But they have made a lot of progress. They really did. They came really, really close. And it's been such a major discussion for the last 3 months, but especially in these last few weeks, as we have not had a show since talks have really ramped up. Last time we talked, they weren't really discussing much of anything. I think the only thing they'd agreed to was universal DH and a draft lottery. So more things that we now have. The CBT threshold has become the biggest issue so far and seems to be the biggest roadblock. And obviously I will get into some other things, and because I'm by myself, I have to, take a second to pull stuff up because I don't have someone else to talk while I'm trying to, look things up. But, bear with me while I try to do that. But really, I'm just going to roll through things starting from Monday night and some of the things we learned that has come to a head. Actually, I should just go backwards so that I'm up to date with stuff. So today, after the 2 sides didn't come to an agreement, and for those that are just joining us now, Nick will be here in a few minutes. He just forgot that the show was at 7, thought it was at 8. Again, we haven't had a show in 3 weeks, so it's okay. It's a simple mistake, but he will be here. So today, after no deal was made, I'm working my way backwards. The 2 main negotiators from both sides Bruce Myers of the MLBPA and Dan Halem of MLB. Bob made a mistake in that, so I know who's who. But the two lead negotiators on both sides met today. They spoke for about an hour and a half discussing most of the issues. Obviously, a deal didn't come today. But they spoke about some important things. That's the latest on what's going on. So some of the things that have been spoken about, we want to implement 3 rule changes. They want to ban the shift completely. They want to have a pitch clock, and they want to have oversized bases. Now, those things can't begin until 2024, unless the union agrees to it, in which they would take place in 2023. They would start. So until then, this is apparently something they threw in last minute during the negotiations Monday night, and was something that we really weren't hearing anything about. We had heard talks about them in the past. We thought, well, maybe in this upcoming CBA negotiation, we'll hear about the possibility of these things, but they hadn't been spoken about so far. But the owners and MLB seem to now want these things and are lumping them in with a couple of other things that the players want. So banning the shift is something that's been spoken about for a while, and I'm going to hit on more of these things when Nick's here because I want to hear what he has to say. But banning the shift is something that we haven't thought of I haven't thought of a world where we can ban the shift. I would like it to happen personally. I'm one of the few. But it just doesn't seem like it's one of those things that you can enforce, because the only way you can do that is by saying, well, you could only have 2 infielders on the right side. But what if you want to have a 5-man infield, and what happens? There are plenty of times where people do 5-man infields. The Rays have done it. The Padres have done it. So what happens to those teams that do 5-man infields? It happens at least once a year. What do? You just can't do it. So that'll go to be seen. The pitch clock is interesting too, because they've been testing this out in minors, and it hasn't gotten rave reviews. We haven't really heard much about it, but it hasn't gotten rave reviews. And the oversized bases is something that they've been talking about more recently. We never really heard of until maybe a couple months ago, because they are concerned about players' safety. So I don't know. Those 3 rule changes are very interesting. I'm not too sure how far they'll get in talks of those things, if the players even want those things. Who knows? So moving back to Monday, where all of the information about these deals started coming out, we had a lot going on. And it started with, again, working backwards, Manfred canceling games. Manfred canceled games and said they weren't going to be made up. And then in the MLBPA press conference, the players said, hold on. He wrote it up here. What's the guy's name? Sorry, I should know this. So, sorry. There it is. So MLBPA lead negotiator Bruce Meyer, I haven't gotten their names down to who they are. I just know their faces. So Bruce Meyer of the MLBPA, who is the lead negotiator, was saying that they now will not come to a deal unless the players are compensated for the games missed, or they make them up at some point in the season. Obviously, the more games you cancel, the harder that's going to be, because you come to canceling 40 games, you're never going to be able to make those up. But you could pay the players. But that also adds another roadblock in what has already been a canyon of a road for the two sides to come to an agreement, because they need to have now a solution on that, because the Players Association seems very adamant that they want to be paid. They want to be paid for those games. They feel very strongly about that. So that, or at least to play them. They just don't want to misplay. And Nick's here. Hi, Nick. I'll continue rolling while Nick gets himself settled in. I'm impressed, though. That was 10 minutes it took you to get here. You must have ran. I'll give you a couple minutes to breathe. Yeah. So I'm intrigued about the fact that the Players Association want to make up those games, and that they feel very adamant about it. Because in my eyes, it's gonna make things a lot more difficult. But who knows? We'll see. So they also came to an agreement on the expanded postseason of 12 teams, which is incredibly interesting. A 12-team playoff system is highly interesting because we've had 10 teams now since 2011, I want to say, where that was when the wild card team became a wild card game. And now we're going to have 12, and we're going to have a wild card series. So all of these extensions of the playoffs end up leading to the wild card game, whatever you want to call it, the wild card, becoming more interesting and more play. So in my eyes, more postseason games is a good thing. That's just my feeling on it. I'm a big fan of more postseason games because the more postseason games there are for baseball, the more baseball there is to watch, and I'm always a fan of that. So, yes, here comes Nick. Nick, welcome. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. How's it going?
Fantastic. How was your walk or your run? At this point, I need some water, so I'll let you.
Yeah, it was good. Started out sprinting, dead
yeah.
sprint, and then I got really tired. So then took some walks, took some walking strides a little closer, and then ended up with a nice little jog.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Turn your mic on, but thankfully they heard you in the stream. That's okay.
Yeah. I do apologize. We haven't been to the show in a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been. That's why I texted you guys before, because I was like, don't forget, we actually have shows on Thursday. It's not something we're used to because we haven't done it in weeks. And today is it feels weird, and it's just the two of us. It's just it's a very different. My Siri's going off on my watch for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, so happy to have you. Things that I've spoken about so far, I wanted to get your take on. The first one is the 3 rule changes that MLB has spoken about, which are bigger bases. Oh my gosh, why am I like pitch clock, and the other one's the biggest one, and I forgot.
The playoffs?
No, bigger bases, pitch clock, and I just spoke about it 2 minutes ago. Yeah, hold on. Now I need to. I'm such an idiot. I'm really sorry. It's right here in front of me, and I need to scroll to it. Banning the shift. That's the one. So banning the shift, pitch clock, and oversized bases. What are your thoughts on those?
Oh wow, bigger bases I had not heard until you just mentioned it.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I assume that's to eliminate those collisions and avoid stepping on players' ankles.
I think it's also. I think they're also trying to make them, the cushion bases that we have in Little League. They're trying to make them softer too, so players don't slip.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. They haven't spoken much about it. It's just been we just know they want bigger bases. It's been something relatively new, which I was saying before, that they out of the 3 rule changes, the most recent one we've heard about. So.
Wow. Yeah. And then banning the shift. I mean, that's just kind of funny. I would say we've seen all the things with Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I don't know. I think the shift is actually a pretty strategic part of the game. I mean, it's unfair at times. Yeah, to pull hitters, but who was it? Someone said that I think it was Carl Yastrzemski hit 4.6 in the shift when responding to the Joey Gallo comments and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So I like the shift. I think the shift's here to stay. I don't see why banning it to do anything good. It just takes away a strategic part of the game, in my opinion. I like to keep the shift. And then what was the other one?
Pitch clock.
Pitch clock. Don't they already do that?
No, they have the time. They kind of.
Oh, that's from mound visits, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it would just be you have 20 seconds from pitch to pitch.
I mean, that would definitely help speed up the game and eliminate those pitchers that just take their sweet old time. Yeah. But it would also ruin their rhythm at times too, because they could just mess up their routine. They're not used to pitching as fast, but there are pitchers that thrive on that too, that they just work fast, and that for them it would be beneficial, but not for guys that like to take their time and just mosey on to the game.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of step offs. That's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of people.
A lot of pickoff attempts too.
Yeah, right. I think the one out of the 3 that I because the bigger bases who really cares, pitch clock, I don't really care. The shift is obviously the most
impactful.
Yeah, it has the most impact on the game, and also has been the most debated. I personally am one who I'm a fan of banning the shift for one reason, because while yes, it takes out a layer of the game, it also then adds another layer in too, and that it's going to force pitchers to be more selective with their pitches, because when you have the shift on to, let's say Chris Davis or Joey Gallo's batting, I'll stick with the current player. Joey Gallo's batting, they're only going to throw pitches inside. You're never going to see an outside pitch for Joey Gallo. No one's going to throw a two-seamer on the outside corner. Not only because he'll probably be a homer on it, but now you take the shift away, you open up that outside corner to Gallo, because if he slashes it down the line, you've got a third baseman there. So it adds another layer that it's going to force pitchers to be smarter about the way that they pitch, and it also opens up, because for a guy like Gallo, to me, I think it kind of evens out, because now he's looking for pitches inside, because he knows, I'm going to move the computer so they can see me because I'm talking. You're getting my side profile. Now he's looking inside. He knows he's never going to get a pitch away, so he can anticipate, I'm going to get a pitch inside. Now you open up the whole plate, and while, yes, he now has an open hole on the right side, he also is going to be more likely to be chasing stuff because he's not looking in one particular area. So I think it would even itself out. I think it's one of those things that they should try, like in spring training. I don't know why they try these rules in the minors, because the Major League fans don't get to really see them. Try them in spring training. We have Major League Baseball players doing these things. See what it's like. Ban the shift in spring training. Have Joey Gallo go up there and swing and see what happens. But obviously that really depends on that. So then what I got into next was the 12-team playoff, which you heard while you were walking in. And the expanded playoffs, I know, is a really hot topic. I don't know what everyone else thinks about it. So I'm intrigued to hear what you have to say, because I think personally it's good for baseball to have more postseason games. And I think it'll make for a little bit more competitive league. The difference between 14 teams and 12 teams really wasn't. I didn't see it as that big of a difference. Obviously, yes, having a league kind of makes it like the NBA, but I don't know. I just personally, I'm happy with an expanded playoffs, but I also, like Ryan said to me in the bureau on Monday, that's only because this increases the chances of the Mets making the playoffs, which is, yes, 100% true. But
yeah, that's pretty funny.
It's true though. It really is.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the problem now, is that, well, yes, like making the playoffs is a very deserving feat in the game, playing 162 games or however many they play this year.
105 or 5.
Yeah, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Not the right chills.
No,
but I don't know. I was very back and forth on this, and I came to like a hard, like, just thought process with it, just because obviously it makes sense for the league. They want more money. They want more playoff teams. It just makes sense from that aspect. But kind of like what you were saying earlier, like how now half the league makes the playoffs. It's just like, I don't know. At one point, I think we'll get to a point where we won't be appreciative of like the lower seeds making the playoffs anymore, just because now like a good chunk of teams make it. Like now it's like what, 2 more wild card teams?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be fun though come playoffs. Don't get me wrong. Like for us fans, it'll be like astounding. We're gonna have like 6 or 7 playoff games to watch in a 3 or 4 day span. Like it's gonna be like Christmas for us. But but if I don't know. Because if I'm the players too, like I see why they did and didn't want it, just because I don't know, maybe they feel like they have a sense of pride within it, just because they want to finish at the top of their game, top of the standings, and for like a lower like now this is like teams like I don't think a good example.
Well, like the example that I kept seeing was this year the Phillies and there was one other team that finished 82-20 that would have made the playoffs. It was the Phillies, and I want to say, was it an NL West team? I don't remember, but there were 2 teams where one of them was 82-20 and another was like 85 and something, and they would have made the playoffs this year had there been an expanded playoff system, and that would have been really strange because it's like basically finish over 500 to make the playoffs. It was a 14 team thing, I think it was. But it in a way, yes, it takes out some of that excitement to make playoffs. But another way, what I think it would do, even with a 14 team playoff, is it makes more teams push to get there because they know the chances are high.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like a team that's I mean, look at what the Athletics did. I think it was it in 2020? I don't know, the year where they started like 0-11, and then they went on and like finished 10 games over. It gives a team like that maybe isn't as good more of a chance, because even if you go 0-11, you get yourself to like 8-11, or at some point in the season like 25-28. You're like, well, we have a chance. Let's make a push, because if it is you get to 500, you can get there. You push a little harder. It's going to make for more competitive games towards the middle of the season, where it's like, okay, well, this team that's still 3 games under 500 thinks it's able to make the postseason. Clearly, we think it's not. So let's knock them out, and it's going to lead to a really intense baseball. I mean, we always talk about September baseball. I think it's going to make August baseball that much more interesting too, because it's a whole race from the start. There's more opportunities, but I don't know. I think it's a win. It's a win-loss. I see so many people on Twitter that are absolutely despising the idea of a 14-team playoff, even 12. For me, I'm like, we can have 30-team playoff. I'd be happy. Like, it's playoff. Literally, I was talking about it, and I think you would appreciate this idea. My idea for baseball this year, when we don't have any baseball games, because baseball's just not going to happen. I'm just preparing for the worst. Because I got all excited about the lockout maybe ending, and now I'm just going to prepare for the worst.
I will say I did vote no on your poll.
Yeah. Most people.
No, it was 80-20.
I know. Yeah, on Tuesday it was. Tuesday it was. But there were most people were very.
I just didn't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah, I'm now in that boat. I can't get my hopes up. I've got to just. There won't be baseball this year. I'm just saying. There's just not going to be baseball. It's not going to happen. And so if that happens, what I think they should do is come to undo the lockout for like a week or two. No, but after that, a month. Do March Madness. All 30 teams are in the playoffs. And on one day, the 2 teams have to get a bye in the first round, which will be the defending champs. You've got the Braves and Astros get a bye into the second round. So then 28 teams are in the first round. They play 1 game. Winner moves on to the second round. Then you got 16 teams. Then that's a best of 3. First to win 2. Then you go down to 8 teams. It's a best of 5. You go down to 4. It's a best of 7. And same for the World Series. And boom, you've determined baseball without even playing a regular season. Like, to me, that would be so awesome. Obviously, the only way that could ever happen is if we don't play baseball in a year. I would just love to see that. I think it would be so cool. Because you imagine, like, the Pirates playing the Padres or something in, like, round 1. It's 1 game. You've got, like, I don't know, who's just Pirates. Can you name one pitcher?
Is it Keller on that team?
I think Mitch Keller might have been released.
Brad
Keller. No, Brad Keller's on the Royals. Oh gosh, wow. This just goes to show you how funny this would be. The playoff series, a playoff game between the Pirates and
Zach Thompson, Jose Quintana.
Yes, Jose Quintana. So yeah, just someone like that, like Jose Quintana matching up against like Mackenzie Gore in a
Mitch Keller is on them. Yeah,
he is. Yeah. In a 1-game playoff, winner goes on to the next round. The other one has to sit out after playing only 1 game for the year. I just think it'd be fascinating. So enough about that. So the 12-team playoff system is, one of the more debated topics, and then you just get into more of the nitpicky stuff that not many people have views on. It's more just like, can we come to an agreement? I don't think anyone really cares what the luxury tax is. To me, the higher the better. But so the last offer from MLB, and I'm going to pull up Jeff's because he's got the comparison. So the last offer from MLB had no changes in the CBT threshold. So the first 3 years, it's $220 million, and it goes up to $224 and $230. That's after 5 years. Then MLBPA's their offer that they had made before, they were at $238 million in the first year, so already $18 million off. Then $244, $250, $256, excuse me, $263. So they go from $18 million off in year 1 to $33 million off in year 5. It doesn't look good on that front. It certainly doesn't. Then they had the pre-art bonus pool. MLB raised that from $25 to $30 million. the players still want 85 million, with 5 million annual increases. That was the one that was the owners were willing to do 10, and the players wanted 115. That was a doozy. And then an increase of minimum salary, MLB actually raised it up to 700,000, and then moving up $10,000 a year after that, where the players are at 725, going up 20,000 a year. To me, for the players, looking at this deal, it's pretty clear the owners aren't going to go that high in CBT. The owners supposedly won't go above 224 in the first year, and the players won't go below 230. Obviously, that's a problem. So someone's got to cave. In my eyes, I see the owners being more stubborn and saying, well, we'll keep you out forever. I don't really care. And the players caving first on an issue like that. I'll go through all three of them, and then I'll get what you have to say. The pre-order bonus pool, it's another thing. Clearly, that's never, like, the players are never going to get what they want. I would be shocked if the owners go over 40 million on that, because it's just not going to happen. Like it's a waste of their time to even bother. Like if I'm the players, like, okay, we want this, but clearly it's not going to happen. But the increase in minimum is the one that bothers me the most, because the owners were originally at, I think, I don't remember what it is this year. It's like 575 or something. The owners are going up to $700,000, and the players are at 725. One of the players, take it 700. Like that's okay. To me, I think that, who knows, they might have been okay with that part of the deal. We don't know, obviously, what they liked and what they didn't. But if I'm a player, take the $700K and run with it. Take something, at least know that you have something secure. There's no reason to argue over $25,000 for a minimum. It's really not. So, what are your thoughts on those three? CBT, PR bonus, and then salary.
I guess my whole thing with it all, honestly, like, I don't really know the specifics with the numbers and like the differences between the pre-arbitration, the CBT, and all that. But what I can say is that I feel like the feeling that I'm getting towards all of this, that I feel like the players have been getting bullied for a while now by the owners since, like, probably before we were even born, in terms of money, in terms of, like, the owners just always just define, like, how much money the players make. And this was so forecasted. Like, we were even saying, like, last year, like, there's a chance we won't play baseball after next year. Like, we thought this was going to be the last year for a while. Obviously, now it's going to hit us, hit full reality.
Yeah, right.
But in a way, like, yes, it sucks. Like we're not getting baseball, like, right on time, and we're probably not going to get baseball until, like, my prediction was fucking July at this point, and it's looking even glummer now. But
yeah,
I'm happy for the players in the sense that they're not letting the owners just push them around.
Yeah.
Because let's think about this logically. They were in negotiations for 8, 9, 10 straight days. Honestly, 3 straight weeks we count over the phone, obviously, because there were conversations over the phone that we didn't even know about. And for them to be just so far off in their best offers and their best like counter offers, to me shows that the players aren't going to get less than what they worked for. And while the owners can control, obviously they do control this all. Like, the players probably won't cave in first, in my opinion, just because they're finally realizing the power that the strides they're making. Obviously, everyone in the baseball community is siding with the players.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Robin should not open Twitter for the next 2 years after what has been put on Twitter.
Very true.
So I don't know. Everyone has the players' backs, and I mean, they're already joking about it now. Like, they're opening LinkedIn profiles. One side is hitting dingers, and I don't even know where.
I don't know. That was pretty cool.
So these guys can go play internationally if they want to, and just wait this thing out. Because, in my opinion, I don't see the players budging at all, and I don't know. I think we're in for a long one when it comes to this lockout. So
yeah, completely agree. It's not going to be pretty when it ends up. These next couple of negotiations, I'm telling you, are going to be bad, and it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary because, I mean, the way things are looking right now, with the things they've come to agreements on and the things they still have to talk about, I mean, there is, like I said, there's no way the players are going to get what they want in the pre-art bonus pool, and there's no way they're going to get what they want in the CBT. Now, There is also the factor of there's people saying, well, the owners might start to cave a little bit once they start to get a point where losing X amount of games starts to lose the money.
That'll be games. That'll probably be the games after April for sure.
Yeah. That's what in my class that I have with the vice president of media relations or something for the Diamondbacks, he said.
Oh yeah, that's a good class.
Yes, that Nick and I are in. That I forgot the class for a second because I'm just like and I'm like, wait, you don't know? And then I'm like, yeah, you do. You're in the class. Where our teacher said that as someone who works for the Diamondbacks, it's about a month before the owners will start losing money. They're okay to miss a month this season, then money starts being lost. And I think that's when we start seeing games. That's when I think we start seeing owners start making good concessions. To wrap it up, I'm intrigued to hear your perspective. I want to hear overall your thoughts on everything. But I'll just throw my 2 cents in there first and then have you close it out. To me, this has been a back and forth game that has been very one-sided. We've seen the owners wait way too long. I've had to argue with my dad about it a lot because he's on the side of the owners because he said he's someone who worked in business and had to deal with unions forever and said that the union's never right. I'm like, well, Dad, this is baseball. It's different. It's not a real union. It is a real union. It's not like a work union. These are baseball players. And when you have one side that won't even talk to you for 45 days, it's kind of hard to feel any sort of positive feelings or any sort of desire to negotiate. It's like we sat here waiting. I mean, hell, even on Monday, Tony Clark said in the press conference, we are willing to stay here in Florida and negotiate. They won't. He literally said it. We have been wanting to negotiate from the start. We will negotiate all day, every day to get a deal done. We don't care. The owners haven't done that. They waited 45 days. Imagine how far we would have gotten if they started this week-long. We see how far they've gotten in a week from negotiating for 7 days straight. Imagine if they started this December 1st. Like, boom, lockout. All right, let's start talking. Every single day, talk, all day. They would have had a deal by December 15th. It would have been over. But because both sides need leverage, they couldn't let that happen. The owners didn't let it happen. Well, yes, a lot of people blame the owners. I try to not take side on these things publicly because I don't like to, harm the possibility of my future. I think both sides have a lot. I think both of them are playing a lot at this point. The players, I think more so recently, because I think the players are being really hard-headed about things that they don't need to be. Obviously, the owners being very hard-headed about a lot of things. I just think the players are taking a very hard-headed stance on stuff that doesn't necessarily need to have it, and it's costing a lot of time where they could be figuring out other issues. While yes, a lot of those other issues are big issues because the owners not being willing to drop or raise their prices, it still seems to me like players should be making some other concessions where clearly they're never going to get anywhere, and then they can talk. So that's my 2 cents for 2 minutes of 2 cents. What do you got? Just summarize it. What you're feeling about that? Yeah.
I mean, I touched on it a lot in my previous statement. Like, we saw this coming for a while now, and we just didn't, at least I didn't realize the repercussions of them not coming to a deal. Like, I always just thought, like, they were just bluffing and just being like, oh, like, especially the night where they extended the deadline. Yeah. I was like, all right, like, we're so good. Yeah. This is done. I'm going to get baseball by the end of March, and it's going to be glorious. But, this is serious, I guess. Like, this is a serious matter that neither side is really budging on. And obviously, I'm not going to pick a side, really, but, like, I really do see where the players are coming from in terms of it, like, a historical standpoint. Like I said earlier, they've been getting pushed around in this league for way too long now. And I guess they did say enough is enough. Yes, I agree that they're being stubborn, hard-headed, all of those adjectives, yes, for sure. And so are the owners. And, the conspiracy is still there, and it's going to be tested this April. We'll see like what the owners do, because obviously the owners lose money in April when their teams are playing, and then after April we're going to automatically see them maybe give the players a lot more money than they were asking for. It's going to be crazy to see, because that could be a really, really, really sticky situation if that were to end up happening. Coincidentally, obviously, because obviously the owners run the league, they're not going to get in trouble for any of this stuff. But it really puts you in perspective about like how much sometimes they might not care. Like obviously they're saying they care, they want this to get done, this, and that. But at the end of the day, all they care about is their money,
Right.
And they know that they can withstand this because they have enough money to go through April. Because obviously they're losing money in April to begin with. So why even play baseball in April?
Right. It's a lot, and I don't like to.
And like another thing too is that there should just not be like a rivalry between like your MLBPA and like the union, that should never just be a thing. Like why are we like letting this be okay? Like obviously it's fun to be on Twitter and just clown like all the owners, Rob Manfred, but like at the end of the day, like this isn't how sports should work. Like we should like the commissioners running the league. Like I love Adam Silver of the NBA, but I honestly can't. I despise the other two commissioners.
Yeah, I was going to say everyone hates.
I don't like Goodell. I don't like Manfred at all. But it just there shouldn't be this like disconnection between the two sides. Like
right.
I don't.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I was never, and you may remember, when we started the show, I wasn't anti-Manfred at all. I was never, what is wrong with my series? I wasn't anti-Manfred when the show started 3 years ago. I had no reason to hate the guy. I didn't ever. I was like, he's kind of like a whatever. Like I had no feelings. But obviously now, in the meantime, I've developed very strong feelings about it that a lot of people have as well. And it's disappointing because these things seem to be prevented. That's all. I don't want to talk too much about it because we've got games to play.
Let's play games.
Let's play games. I don't know if you have seen this game in particular. Everyone knows Wordle. Okay, everyone knows Wordle. If you don't know Wordle, it is a really popular game that a lot of people play. I don't play. Strangely enough.
There's an NBA player type of Wordle.
Getting there.
Oh, there's one. Really?
Yes, there is. That's what we're playing today.
Oh my god.
It is called Wendell.
Oh my god.
So Wordle is it's always 5 words. You have to guess the word. You get it's too annoying to try and describe. If you don't know what it is, you get 6 tries to try and guess a 5-letter word. They tell you if a letter is in the word. They tell you if the letter's in the right spot, and then they'll tell you if the letter's not in the word at all. So we're playing Wendell today.
How do you spell Wendell?
W-E-N, like Joey. Wendell.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it's inspired after. But today's Wendell, that's actually good if you have it there, because then you can keep track. I mean, I'm going to do it on here.
Yeah.
So they also give you hints. They give you 5 hints, because it's any baseball player. I think it could be any baseball player ever.
You think you send me the link?
Yes, I can. There you go. And then just scroll down and click the play here. I believe you can.
This is beautiful.
Clue number 1. I like. If you look at all the clues, it kind of gives it away. So don't scroll down the clues, because from who we are, putting all these things together, it's pretty clear to figure out who it is. Maybe not, but I don't know. So the first clue, and this is now 6 words because it's Wendell. The first clue is this player at 15 home run this rookie year. I'm just going to read the clues. Who the heck cares? Let's try and get it quickly.
Okay.
This player plays in the American League. Okay, well, actually, you really kind of can't because it's more of after each one. So you have to guess, I guess, from the start. Everyone has their starting word. I don't know who the heck. I don't have a starting word. My starting word was Paxton, like James Paxton. What?
This game is just. I don't know where.
I need to see what you're looking at. Sorry, everyone. Okay. So go up
I see the
a little bit more right there. Click here.
Oh.
Yeah, they make it really difficult to find. Were you clicking on the ads?
I was clicking start.
Yeah, he kept clicking on the ads. Those are all ads that they use to try and steal your information.
Wait, and then put me in this custom Wordle then. Oh,
that's the one. Yeah, that's it.
So I just guessed the player.
Yeah. So my first word that I've been using in this is Paxton, because James Paxton, and it's got X in there, it covers it up. So there is an A and an N in the last two. And I mean, there's an A in the second, so just type in Paxton so you see.
Okay. Yeah, I got the N. I guess Yerman.
Oh, okay. Who?
Like Yerman Mercedes. Oh, is his last name's only?
It's last names.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that makes it a little bit harder. So there's no P, no X, no T, no O, but there's an A in the second spot and an N in the last spot. So the first clue is this player had 15 home runs in his rookie year. And now I already, because I scrolled ahead, I think you did too. You saw the clues.
Yeah, I saw a few.
Yeah, okay. Well, did you see the one of the team he plays on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on. Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So we're both, White Sox.
Yeah.
And 15 home runs in his
And he played his debuts 2021.
Yeah, right. Which gives it away. Let's look at the rest. So he made his debut in 2021, plays in the White Sox and 15 home runs. Well, who the heck is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
like,
thinking.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my god.
This is gonna be one of those guys where you're like, who?
No, because we should know this.
Yeah, but 15 homers it's not a lot.
It's not a lot, but like I should know this.
You should, yes, that's fair.
I have no idea.
We know there's an A in the second and an N in the sixth. Obviously, my instinct is to look at the White Sox roster, but
See, that's just not what we're gonna do.
That's just cheating. That's just being Ryan. That's just being Ryan, and we don't condone cheating on the show while one of our co-hosts does religiously.
It's only 5-letter last name.
Six. It's six.
Oh, six. Sorry.
Yeah. That was a good guess with Yermin, though. I like that. That was good.
Yeah.
Oh wait. No, I was thinking. Oh wait, no, it's not. I was thinking Sebi Zavala.
Wow.
Zavala is sixth, and it has the second A, but it doesn't have an N.
Oh, who is this guy?
Sebi Zavala would be an incredible guess.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna type it in just for fun and see. Okay, so there is a V in it though. There's a V in the name.
So we're okay.
So there's a V somewhere. V. So there's a V somewhere in there, and it has the second letter is A.
And the last letter is N.
Last letter is N. So there's no Z. There's no L.
I'm just so mad at myself right now. I don't know who this is.
I can't think of who it is off the top of my head. This is really fun. We should do this every time.
Yeah.
We have the show.
I get this sooner though, because I'm just struggling.
Yeah. It's what we should do in the worst is we can get it the fastest.
Yeah. I wish there was on the NBA one they give you like a silhouette.
Really?
Yeah, it's cool.
That's pretty cool. That would be easier to guess for me in baseball because I know silhouette. You know how MLB does the silhouette games?
Yeah.
I always feel like I do really well in those, even though they don't unveil who the players ever are.
Mm-hmm.
I always would. I'm like, oh, that's Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
You could just tell. I think that would give it away a little bit. I love this thing.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I did not know there was a baseball one.
Yeah, I saw it the other day. I actually got tagged in it. I didn't get tagged in it. I saw someone post about it, and then I said I need to play this, and then the person like tagged the Diamond Digest, the people who created this, actually sent me the link to it. I was like, thanks. There's a V.
He plays for the Chicago White Sox. He made his MLB debut in 2021.
And he hit 15 homers, so he clearly wasn't.
Who's in that young core of the White Sox? It's like Luis Robert.
Yeah, we've got Eloy Jimenez. Sebi Zavala is the only other. Sebi Zavala is the only guy I can think of.
Nick Magical, he's also there.
Yeah, but he's on the Cubs now.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Ends with an N.
Yeah, dude, that's also what's throwing me off.
This is a weird one. And there's no way to like reveal that, which is even more annoying. There's like stats. What is that for stats?
That's really like your percentages.
Oh, mine? I've never done it. I've only done it once. So, oh God, what did I just open? Oh God, we opened. I'm doing things I shouldn't be, I guess.
Dude, who is this guy?
I don't know.
You think someone that's listening in the chat put it in?
There's not a single viewer.
Oh, okay.
So no, there's definitely. And I think even if they were, they can't even see that they I'm sure aren't even keeping up with what we're saying.
Oh my God, who is this?
Oh man, and we can't I want to just guess a bunch of letters and see if they're in the word. That's what I'm gonna do. Screw it. Okay, VARSEN. Larson. Oh, there's a V that starts with a V. So it starts with a V, and it's VA and ends with an N. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, it's Vaughn.
Andrew Vaughn.
Andrew Vaughn.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
That's the one. Yes. We got it, baby.
That's all you. Good job.
Oh,
I completely agree with this guy.
I love that.
It's very
So
satisfying.
in the regular Wordle game, I've never played before. Can you get other words after you're done? You just have to wait till tomorrow.
You do it tomorrow.
So this one says play a random word, but is that going to be other players?
I think this is also one day.
I don't know.
Because on the website, it has the clues and stuff.
I know it does, but
this is Wendell number 4, March 3rd.
oh, okay. So this is just Wordle. This one, you can do a random. Wow, how do we not remember?
I don't know. Yeah, that's terrible.
That's really funny. 15 homers. I was thinking that was on. I completely forgot he existed.
Yeah,
I
me
saw the
too.
VA. The VA, and I was like, Mo Vaughn. Mo Vaughn. Andrew Vaughn. That guy. That's really fun. Okay, well, we got that. So we've now got 12 minutes. Did you come prepared with any?
I can just throw some random ones at you.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. We can kind of split it half and half because I have a game that I'd like to do.
Yeah, just coming off whenever you're.
Yeah, I'm good whenever.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a random player right now.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. All right, ready?
Yes.
So this guy hit 290 for his career,
Mhm.
136 home runs, 766 RBIs. He was a 4-time All-Star, Gold Glover, All-Star Game MVP, and a 1-time Silver Slugger. He played for 3 different teams, 11 years in the AL, 4 years in the NL. He played from 2002 to 2016.
You said MVP.
All-Star Game.
Oh, All-Star MVP. Brian McCann? No, it's a lot lower than that. I'm an idiot.
He's a lefty though.
And he played 4 years in that now. Okay. Spider-Man wasn't a terrible guess, but it was 2002. Wow. Played for 14 years, 4 Silver Sluggers.
Oh, sorry, 4-time All-Star.
Oh,
1-time
sorry,
Silver Slugger.
Sorry, I did know that. I was just thinking it wrong. 4-time All-Star, 1 Silver Slugger,
1 Gold
All-Star
Glove.
Game MVP, a Gold Glove.
Yes.
As a lefty, he probably. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Was the All-Star Game MVP after 2010 or before 2010?
It was definitely before. Because after 2010, he was ever an All-Star again. He led the league in triples 4 times. And stolen bases 4 times.
Rafael Furcal? No. And he was a switcher. Oh God. See, it's harder because I don't have Ryan here to cheat to give me ideas. Because he gets me in the ballpark. And I just don't even know ballpark to be in. Wow. Give me one of the teams he played on. Actually, what team did he play on in 2011?
The Red Sox.
No. JD Drew? No.
No.
Wow. Coco Crisp. That was he wasn't on the Red Sox in 2011. What? Trying to run through that Red Sox team from 2011 in my head.
And then you should get
Jason Veritek?
No. I did say he led the league in triples.
Oh, and stolen bases. That's a dumb one. Woo! And I think he had more home runs than that. Led the league in triples and retired. So in 2011, he was in the Red Sox.
Yeah.
What?
I was doing the Veritek stats.
Oh, I was like, it wasn't Kevin Youkilis.
Oh, you're right. I was in Euclid.
You were. I was like,
I get this always mixed up.
Veritek did have a weird stats though. This is gonna end up being a
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's okay because I'm just not thinking of it.
You got this. You got this. You know.
I will eventually.
Yeah.
How many years did he play with the Red Sox?
2.
10 and 11 or 11 and 12?
11, 12.
Okay. Wow. Did he ever play on the Mets?
No.
There's a 10.
He was part of a big blockbuster trade.
2002? Wow. Dear God, the guy was a fossil.
When he got traded in 2012, he was part of like a big blockbuster deal.
So he was traded in 2012.
Yes.
You could probably even tell me who he was traded for. I wouldn't even know.
I see. You could do some retracing your steps though.
Okay, 2012. Traded for. Is the player that he was traded for still playing?
Let me look at that deal real quick.
Okay. Oh man, this is gonna bother me. Oh. Okay. Mike? No.
Okay, yeah, so none of the players in that deal are still playing.
Were any of them ever any good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Was he the headline of the deal? Or
He was not a headline, but he was still.
He was important. Wow. Oh God, what team did he play most of his career with?
He spent 9 years with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Carlos Pena? No,
It's good. It's a good guess.
it's not Carl Crawford. What?
Yes, sir.
Carl Crawford?
Carl
I thought of him
Crawford.
so many times.
Oh, yes, sir. That's the guy.
He was traded to the Dodgers.
Yep. The Adrian Gonzalez deal.
Wow. Whew. Wow, that's crazy. Huh. How about that? Wow, okay then. Well, there goes. I mean, at least I got it right.
Yeah, good job.
So my game that I wanted to play, whip up a baseball reference.
Yeah, it's already out. Yeah.
The homepage.
Okay.
Go to the homepage. I want to see if your homepage is the same as mine. Yes, it is. Okay, so the game we're gonna play. Don't hover over the players. I'm gonna have you write down all the names of all the players that you know there in that.
I could just say them out loud.
Yeah, I know, but if we do that, then it's going to we're going to give it away. So write it down somewhere.
Dude, I don't know.
All right, I'm just going to start right because I know a few that I don't know. Okay. I'm really struggling on one guy that I know who it is, but
Yeah, I kind of only know one guy on this list.
You only know one? Okay, well, I have obviously it's Melvin Upton.
Yeah.
The one that you know.
Yeah.
So there's Julio Lugo on the bottom right. He recently passed away.
Who's right next to BJ?
That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, you don't know that is either?
Yeah, that's the guy I'm trying to figure out. I feel like his name is Chris.
Is that Joe Nathan? That's not Joe.
No.
That sounds like early Joe Nathan.
It looks like Seth Brown, actually. Rich Harden. Oh, it's Rich
I
Harden.
had no idea.
I would have never guessed that. Oh, he went to Central Arizona College. He's from Coolidge. I know, in Coolidge. He was born in Canada.
You know any of these other players?
No, not a single one. Who's that guy? Ben Taylor is on the top. Hall of Famer Ben Taylor is on the top left, who hit 26 home runs in his career.
Wait,
Oh,
so
he was in the.
what other player did you know then?
Julio Lugo.
Oh, that's to you too?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That is Jim Merritt in the Reds hat.
That's actually Jack Morris in the Tigers hat.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow. I don't know any of these guys. Willie Sudoff. Who's the Phillies guy? Jay Johnstone. Never would have thought. And then Ivar Swanson. So I could have had four of those because those are the only ones that I know.
I could have had two. I should have known Jack Morris.
Yeah, I know Julio. I know Julio Lugo. I don't want to say I know him well, but like I played with him on MLB 2K back in the day. He was one of the guys I was thinking of when you're talking about Red Sox. But I know he was a switch hitter, and I know he retired way before 2016. So that's going to do it for this week. A little bit of a quiet show today because we didn't have Ryan or Spencer, but I like it. I like the little throwback because that's it makes me go back to the first time we ever had a show where you had Subway sandwiches. You didn't eat until the show was over. The poor thing was freezing.
That's because I was running late, man. It was just.
So this is some real nostalgia today. Well, that'll do it for this week. Next week, well, at the rate we're going, I mean, there's always a chance that the lockout ends in between our next shows. I'm not saying it's going to, but one of these days, the lockout's going to end in between shows. So
I hope so.
Who knows when it'll be. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate you. No, we don't have a show next week because it's spring break. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you all